Welcome to Unhinged Magi! Oh my goodness, we're back again. We made it for another day.
We did. We're
Yes.
still alive.
We are. We're not dead. And we're not zombies.
I'm a little surprised because, 2020, right?
I know, right? Yeah, 2020.
Yeah.
Everything's happening. The zombies are out. The lycanthropes are all over the place. Vampires are now playing cards. It's crazy.
The living undead. Yes, they are a real thing.
I was very surprised when they started hanging around my house.
Yeah, you had to get your shotgun,
I did.
sharpen your machete.
Yep.
Because you run out of bullets after a while. You just
That's
have to
true.
keep lopping heads with that machete.
Exactly. Now I have a collection of heads. I'm trying to find a witch doctor to shrink them. So if you know one below.
That's very useful of you. That's very forward thinking.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm impressed.
Yeah, thank you.
Zombie head collection.
Mm-hmm. I can sell it on eBay.
Would that put you in debt?
Yeah, probably so, because, if you're taking zombie heads and you sell them on eBay, someone might get the zombie virus and then I get sued.
Yeah, and then
Then
could that
I would have
nationally
debt.
put you in debt?
It would nationally put me in debt. And today we're going to be talking about the national debt. If you haven't figured it out by now, since we've said debt a few times, and it's probably in the title.
As soon as we said undead, they should have figured it out at that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True. I agree. All right, the national debt. Do you love it? Woo! Yeah, we're high. We're going up. It's always going up. Spend that money. Yeah, spend that money. The government always likes to spend money, and it always increases the national debt. And everybody goes, oh. But they keep spending that money, and they keep printing that money, and it just keeps going up.
Kind of no matter who's sitting in the office, doesn't really matter who controls Congress. This side yells at this side, and then they switch, and then this side still yells at this side, and the debt keeps going up.
Yay, debt! All right, and who's responsible? Nobody. Who cares, right? But how
Kind
can
of.
we, if we were president,
We.
well, okay,
So I like that thought. There's a collective presidency.
that's right,
going on.
collective presidency.
Maybe you could be president 4 days a week, and I'd be president 3 days a week.
And that way I can game on Tuesday.
I like that plan.
Yeah, me
actually.
too. All right, so as we do dual presidency, all right, I have a plan to help minimize the national debt. I do. It's a very good plan. It's called You Give Me Your Money. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so
They just clicked off the video.
yeah, exactly. I'm gonna start spamming everybody and sending, "Hey, give me money, give me money." No,
I'm going to pay off the debt.
trust me. No. Basically, what we could do is pass a law in through the House and the Senate and that kind of stuff, and write a bill and create a new tax, a new luxury tax, right? On anything that is not, necessary, like what we deem not necessary, or of what we need to survive, or what we need to do our daily lives. For instance, Magic the Gathering. Would you say it's a necessity or a luxury?
Well, I think it's a necessity.
You are wrong, sir.
The world does not agree with
You're
me.
wrong. It is
I'm
a
going to
luxury.
die without my cards.
Therefore, it would get, if you went out and bought some Magic the Gathering cards, you would actually get a sales tax, if you will, a federal tax that would just go specifically to help pay off the national debt, or at least to minimize actually its growth rate. So that would actually help minimize the thing, and I would add that to everything. But what else is a necessity? A car is considered a necessity for us as an American people. We like to drive cars. However, I would say that a luxury car, or a car that's over a certain price point, like $25,000 and higher, would have the extra. All right, so if a car was like $25,000 or more, every dollar above that would have the actual luxury tax applied to it. And so now we have rich people who like to fly on charter jets because charter jets are fun, and then sometimes they like to buy charter jets. So they would have a luxury tax on those items because those aren't necessary. So you have these frivolous things that people buy all the time, and then we would apply a tax to that, a sales kind of tax. And you know what? We like to buy stuff. In the United States, we're capitalists. We like to sell stuff.
We
and
are
buy
a consumer
stuff.
economy.
We
for
are
sure.
a consumer. Yes. And so this tax would actually just go towards paying off the national debt. It's not really going to tax you internally. Like if you're going to go out and buy something for yourself that is food related or water related or medicine related, or you're getting a surgery or a hospital stay or whatever you actually need, it won't be affecting you as far as the tax is concerned. But if you buy Magic the Gathering cards, it'll help pay off the national debt.
Now, I'm not completely bought into this plan. There's aspects to it that I like, but you know one thing I really would like if they implemented it? If they raised taxes on luxury items, and then therefore also decreased taxes on things that are necessary.
Ooh,
that
that's
you need
good.
to live.
I like that.
That would be much more interested in it with something like that.
Okay.
That would
We can
definitely
merge
bring
that.
me more towards that side of the aisle.
Okay, I would agree to that. I would
Yeah.
I would be able to merge with that.
Yeah.
Right? Because some of the taxes that you get on your actual check
Mm-hmm.
is actually going towards the national debt.
Yeah.
So if I remove that from your actual income-based pay,
Mm-hmm.
but I still apply the luxury tax, because the luxury tax is going to outweigh anybody's actual income pay.
Yep. Now there's another aspect. Let me throw this at it to bolster this idea. We already know, we all should know, you guys should understand that central banks around the world are printing money and monetizing the debt of the nations. The governments are out spending way more money than they have, and the central banks are making this possible by increasing the money supply. So since that's already happening, and it's, by the way, it's not a good thing, but since it's already happening, what if, inside of this idea you're talking about, it became illegal for governments to monetize debt directly, but the interest payments on bonds, they were actually allowed to monetize the interest payments on bonds.
Yes, they were.
And so, like, that would, there'd be a little bit of inflation there. There would be some monetizing of the debt, but not, like, there would still be a big reason for the government not to spend money they don't have, because they actually will owe that money back.
Right.
But you want people to be able to buy bonds and make interest.
Of course.
And
Yes,
so
because that incentivizes them to actually do it.
yeah, so instead of like monetizing the debt by printing a bunch of money and letting banks buy assets and things like that, what if like the printing of money only went to the interest payments on the treasury bonds that are actually out there?
We'd still need an emergency avenue of printing the ball money.
Yeah. You know, I just realized a lot of people watching this might not even have any idea what we're talking about when we say treasury bonds and stuff like that.
Well, it's good to use Google to actually look these things up.
So the national debt, for anyone who doesn't understand, is the money that the federal government of the United States owes to people who went out and bought what's called a bond. And let's get past all the crazy, confusing jargon. A bond, if I'm an investor and I have cash in hand, like say $10,000, and I want to make interest on it, I can go to the government and buy a bond. And I'm doing air quotes because what you're really doing is you're loaning money to the government. And you're going to get this nifty little piece of paper that says they make you payments every 6 months on the interest for however long the term of the bond is, like maybe 10 years. And then at the end of those 10 years, they give you your money back. And so you make a little bit of profit on it, and that's the reason why you would loan your money to the government, is to make a little profit. Well, that whole industry has gotten really crazy right now because central banks are buying bonds and they're
And
ruining interest rates.
we actually
because
owe
of that.
money into different countries, as most of you are already aware of. So we really need to get out of actually having foreign money as far as the national debt is concerned. That's one of the things
Yes.
that I would strongly put the money towards.
Right. I definitely think, I mean, we've already got all these countries. Like, this is one thing I do agree with, that, like, we shouldn't be, like, spending so much of, when America spends its money to give to other countries to support something in other countries, that's, philanthropy like that is totally fine when you have the money to spend.
If you have extra money.
But when you're borrowing money from the production of future generations by, like, increasing the national debt to get money that you didn't have, you borrowed it from future production, and now you give $1 billion to another country that needs it. Let's be clear, that's money you didn't have, which is good to help people who need it. But when you borrow money you don't have, you didn't have it to begin with, and that doesn't really work out.
That doesn't make sense. So, yeah, but I'm good with our plan. I'll reduce the income. I think we got a good presidency here going.
And if they're going to monetize it, they at least could monetize the debt in like a little bit of a better way. Maybe I should explain what that means, monetize the debt. When the government doesn't have enough money, like everyone's paying taxes into the government, you know, to the federal government, your federal taxes. That's supposed to be the money that they use to do everything that they actually do. Well, when the government doesn't get enough money in taxes to pay for the things they're spending money on, like military and all this other stuff, when they don't have enough money coming in via taxes to spend, well, that's when the government takes a little sheet of paper and writes, this is a bond, and then they sell it to the market, and people loan them money to actually give that missing money, and then that's how they go buy things, and that's where that national debt comes from. So the monetizing the debt is when the government spends a whole bunch more money that they didn't have. Now they have all this debt that they owe to investors in bonds, and then a central bank comes in, prints money out of nowhere, just poof, out of thin air.
It's my basic bunny money.
Yeah, and they buy those bonds from the government, helping the government get out of that debt, and then the central bank is sitting there now with like trillions of dollars worth of bonds on their balance. Like they printed money out of nowhere and bought treasury bonds from the United States government, which is, I think there's a moral issue there also. But anyway, that's monetizing the debt. That's what that means.
Yeah, I also think there should be an extreme restriction on what things are spent in the government for.
I was actually, that was the point. We were discussing this earlier, and I totally forgot one of the points I was going to go to. I am a firm believer that there's two solutions to this problem. One of them is finding a way to increase the income into the federal government. The second problem is decreasing their spending.
Yeah, we got to decrease that. That is a very, okay, go ahead.
I have a really good idea for that.
Oh, good.
There's like one major place that pops out in my mind, and this is actually based on experience. When I was in college, I worked at Chico State University in California. I worked in the financial aid office. And that office it's very similar to a government type organization. So this thing I'm going to say, it was actually for the college, but this is what happens in government organizations. They had a budget that they got in that financial aid office. And at the end of the year, they were like, we didn't spend enough money. Because if we don't spend this money, then we're not going to get it next year.
Yeah.
There's this mentality, there's this
You see this in every single state across the United States as well.
Right. There's this mentality that exists that if your office doesn't use all the money that's allocated to you, you're not going to get that money the next year. And so rather than being incentivized as a business to like, hey, let's save as much money as we can, let's build up a pile of cash for rainy days and things going bad or something like that, let's be efficient with our spending. No. What they did is they actually ran out and they bought everyone in the office new computers. And everyone in that office, when that happened, they were all like, we don't need new computers. I remember it clear as day. As a student, I'm like, you guys are raising my tuition every year.
Yeah.
You're making college more expensive. And now this office is literally just like hemorrhaging money on things they don't need.
Yeah.
So the whole point, I'm going all the way around here, but the point is, that needs to change.
Yeah, I've seen that with the actual road constructions and that kind of stuff. Towards the end of the year, you see them fill out roads that don't even need to be repaired.
Yep, and I'm not saying
But
like...
yet they still ignore the bridges that do need repair, which is really stupid.
And notice, I'm not saying like we need to go close all these departments. I'm not saying we need to pull back things that we've promised the people. I'm not even saying that.
Right.
All I'm saying is allow managers of small government businesses, reward them for being efficient.
Yeah.
If they end the year with a pile of money, allow them to keep that in an account that can float their balance like over maybe they'll have a bad year 2 years later, and they can use that fund to like cover that bad year. Let them do normal business practices. Incentivize them to actually save money during the year and remove this archaic system that says if you don't use all the money, you don't get it the next year. That's got to go.
That has to go.
That's got to go.
That's got to be banned.
That one change alone would massively change the spending in the federal government. Guaranteed.
I still remember the article when they bought like $1,000 plastic trash cans.
Oh yeah, did you hear about the toilet seats too? There was like some kind of like $500 toilet seat or something.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, there's stories you hear about stuff like that. You know, because like they just got to spend this money, and there's probably some contractors in there like, hey buddy, I'll be your contractor. I'll sell you a toilet seat for $500. Wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, we can go down to Home Depot and get it for $13, and here you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so these things are good ideas. See, we would make a great president.
So vote for Open Boosters Edwin team.
Yeah.
We need a better name than that.
Yeah. So 2024 us?
2024. Yeah,
Okay.
let's do it.
We're going to be on the ballot for 2024. Go ahead and start signing those, getting those signatures for us.
2 in a box. Yep.
2 in a box.
Yeah, well, like the two
Oh,
of
yeah,
us
two
in,
of us
in one
work.
ballot box.
Yeah, who's going to be our VP though? We need 2
I don't
people
care.
for
I'll
VP.
be the VP. You can be the president.
Well, no, you need a VP. If
Well, I guess
both
we're
president-
2 in a box, so yeah, we're both presidents, so we need to pick a different VP.
Hey, no, you need
Well-
to pick two VPs below us.
I think it should be Rudy.
Rudy, okay, he's our VP.
Okay, Rudy, you could be our VP, officially.
Yes, we're president, he's VP. We work well together. It's good.
Okay, so is that good?
Yeah, I think that's good. Do you guys get it? Do you understand? Perfect.
Did we just ramble for a while? Was this video stupid?
We're just old. No, I'm just
Well, if you liked what we said, if you thought this was entertaining, I want you to crush that like button. Just
Don't forget to pound the bell. Pretend it's Taco Bell. And it's like, boom. I'm just saying.
Yep, Taco Bell that button.
Yep.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Or a car that's over a certain price point, like $25,000 and higher, would have the extra. That's hilarious. I'm sorry. I looked over there.
Sorry.
Wait, did you get a bigger dog?
We'll have to edit that out.
Sorry.
Should we explain that?
I'm so sorry.
We can decide whether or not we want to keep it in. But my wife didn't want to be in the video, so she crawled on the floor past us on the video on her hands and knees.
It totally spaced me.
Like, how do you not notice this? We're like,
I was like, what?
Sorry.
No worries, no worries. Okay, so